Welcome to The Big Picture. I'm Phil Arno. When you hear the letters WEBR, what do you think of? Well, WEBR, I think of a radio station with a proud history in Western New York. Well, Bill Yuhnke is an owner of Liberty Cab, and he also has a proud history in Western New York, and it is tied to radio. And Bill decided that he should hook up with the call letters WEBR, combined with a proud history of radio and Bill's proud history. I think we're going to have a treat coming up. So we're going to get into a discussion about radio in Buffalo, WEBR, and here's Bill Yuhnke to explain a little bit. Okay, let's get right into the conversation. What made you get involved in a radio station?
Well, many years ago I was in radio, but in this particular situation, I didn't know the owners of JJL 1440, and I knew that their health was getting pretty bad, and the station was probably going to go dark. And so I wanted to be able to save the frequency with really at that plan, had nothing in plan of what type of format or what we were going to do, but I didn't want this station to go off the air.
Well, it could be a service to Western New York. I know that that's something that you were considering and one of the motivations. How is that going to work?
Well, I believe that we've got to get back to the community, and I think you do too, Phil, is that we got to get back to the public, stay local, let's serve as a community that we're supposed to be servicing. And I don't think they're getting that from, in my case, radio stations, and they're probably not getting on TV stations the fair shake.
It's almost like a Back to the Future concept. I mean, we as broadcasters used to serve the community. That was the whole point of broadcasting, is serving the community.
That's correct.
And now it's kind of migrated away with the ownership going to big corporations, national. So we're kind of a throwback. We
are, and we can make decisions right away. We don't have to go up to a corporate ladder or appease anybody. You know, our mission and our belief is what we believe in. I also believe that we're not training future broadcasters, future owners, to know what you know and what I know and what all this talent in Western New York is here. How are we going to tap into that? And I felt that we needed to get back to the roots, that I can tap into some of these broadcasters, like my morning show, like my afternoon show, like my evening show. The people that's got all this talent, we need to train future broadcasters. I'm not saying we're a training station, but I have all the experience. I surrounded myself with the best broadcasters in Western New York.
Well, one of the touchstones of broadcasting in the early days was creativity. Mm-hmm. It was how you got attention and kept people interested, how you entertained and informed. That kind of went by the wayside a little bit.
Oh, absolutely it did. I mean, automation just took it over. Unfortunately, during this disease that we're faced with, we had to think out of the box. I've been known to be thinking out of the box all my life, so it's nothing new. I'm just using that same philosophy in the broadcast business, and I'm not done yet. There's more to come. And so, you know, this station might be the kickstart, but there's going to be a lot more going on here at WEBR. I was lucky enough to get the call letters, as you know, bringing WEBR back to home, where it belongs, and that's here in Western New York.
Well, that was going to be my next question, is WEBR are call letters that have been around Buffalo and Western New York for more than 70 years. I mean, it goes way, way back.
You're even short on the years a little bit.
Yeah.
We're going to be 100 years in 2 years.
Okay, well that's more than 70.
So anyway, so the WEBR was the second station to tune in here in Buffalo, New York. It was the original station that, and the writers developed the Lone Ranger. And, you know, there's a history here.
That's one of the most interesting stories. Tell us a little bit about that story.
Well, there was a writer here. It was on WEBR. At the original writing of that program, it was called Covered Wagon. And then another station in Detroit had heard about it, went after him, and he did move from EBR to Detroit, where the story just gets bigger and bigger, where it went nationally to the radio networks across the country. It then went to TV. It then went to movies. It then went into cartoon strips. Every kid in America wanted to be the Lone Ranger or Tonto. And so it really spun. And the history of this is just great. I mean, I didn't even know all this stuff. And you saw the studios that the original EBR was. I think they had an orchestra of 27 people. I can't even imagine doing a radio show. And they did that every day, right here in Western New York. We have so much talent here in Western New York that I think has not been recognized.
That's one of the things that has always been consistent about this area, is they're very creative people, very talented people in radio, in television, even newspapers. There's something about this area that just breeds creativity and innovation. And I mean, Howdy Doody came from this area. You know, the inventiveness goes way back. And when I said this is Back to the Future, that portends good things. I mean, we could come up with some very, very interesting ideas to serve the people in Western New York. And the other radio stations just, they don't think like that.
Well, you know, I've been told, and again, I've been surprised of the support I have gotten from other broadcasters and stations like WBBZ, who have really come out to give us that jump start. And I've been told that there's only two people in 100 years have put this station on the air, and that's Mr. Howell and myself. I think the history shows that the two big corporations that own EBR was the Courier Express and the Buffalo Evening News. So I'm honored to be in that small little group. And I'm going to get back to local ownership. With local ownership, we can make decisions that is right for us and right for the people. Where here, corporate America, they look at that, what's the price of that stock today? Oh, if it went down, oh, we better lay off the morning show. We got to lay off, you know, that's not us. We're here for them. It's not Bill Yuhnke's station, it's the people's station.
Well, you know, one of the first jobs I had in the industry was in radio at WKBW Radio back in the day. You know, when Jeff Kay was the program director, and you know, we had Neverith and Sandy Beach and Jack Armstrong and Stan Roberts and all the talent, and the philosophy there. They didn't. I mean, you know, they're probably, you know, they would kick me if I said this too many times, but they weren't so much concentrating on the revenue as they were concentrating on the entertainment factor, because they knew that if they were interesting and entertaining, the revenue would come.
Correct.
I mean, it was, they put the cart behind the horse. Then the horse pulling everything was the entertainment. And that's the key. If you give people something that they're interested in, the rest is going to follow.
Every one of our people that are here with us now, I have my foundation is based on this. If it's not fun, we're not going to do it. And I believe that we're going to put fun back in radio. We're going to put fun back that you're going to enjoy putting this on, no matter you're at work and this population. When we started doing the market research of Western New York, there are more people that are 35 plus. And not that we wouldn't take millenniums. I've been talking to some of my friends that have younger kids, and they're telling me they're listening to some of this music. They don't even know it was American Standard. They think it's new. And so we're sprinkling that in, so they don't even know that they're being sprinkled.
Well, you know, I have 20-somethings, early 20-year-olds, and they grew up on the internet, basically. Mm-hmm. And when they listen to things on the internet, I've noticed that what attracts them is personalities, okay? And go back to what I was saying about WKBW Radio, that was all personality. That wasn't, you didn't tune in so much for the music, you tuned in for the personalities and the music.
Because you know they were on at a certain time.
Yeah. Yep. You know, Joey Reynolds and Sandy Beach and Danny Neverith and Jack Armstrong. You had guys that were going to interest you, and they had a style, and that's what was followed. And that's what's happening on the internet today. So the young people of today, they have gotten into a technology that attracts them, but the principle is the same. If they have interesting things to listen to, and that comes across in personality, they'll listen to it. Now, you come to this technology, and if we give them the same interesting programming or the same personality, they'll tune in. They'll find it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I can't wait for July 6th. That's our day. 6 o'clock in the morning, this gentleman you see over my shoulders will be the first voice you hear with the WEBR. And I'm excited. I mean, he makes me laugh. I knew the first time I met him, if he can make me laugh, I want him here.
Now, this is going to be America's sound, and it is going to be classic. It is going to be kind of a mix of very talented, legendary performers. Tell us a little bit about what the format's going to be.
Well, I was hoping that you would ask that to our morning show, because he's really on top of that. However, I'll give an example. I felt that people in Western New York didn't have a voice. Here's an example. We're putting a special together that a listener would be able to call 24 hours a day, and it's called Radio Free America. And we'll give you 2 minutes for your opinion. You're not going to get cut off as long as you don't use those 6 bad words, and you'll get aired. And then our listeners will be able to respond to that opinion for the whole day. So you see, you won't be cut off. You can hear what these other people in Western New York are really thinking. So we want them to have a voice. We're hearing that some of the stations around, they would cut them off if you didn't agree with their policy or what the subject of the day was or whatever like that. So we're going to open that avenue up. I'll give you a little tease. We have a new game show that is going to be aired the week of July 6th. I can't tell you too much because I'm under a gag order, but I will tell you that every participant could be a contestant. With the new way of life we're living today, we can't have people in audiences. They're not making movies with actors right now. We believe this kind of entertainment, and it's about Buffalo. It's about what's happening here, a lot of pieces of this. I can give you a question, but I won't, because it's probably one of the questions they use. I'm going to get killed. But, I want people to listen. You make your opinion and email me. Be honest. Tell me what you think. But I'll tell you what, it's not old. It's not an old format. All the music was compiled over the last 6 or 7 months. An example, the only way I can explain this part of it is this way. The song My Way by Frank Sinatra might be aired, but now you got Celine Dion doing it. So that version of My Way could be aired here because it's an American standard. So a lot of people are redoing these songs from the past, but they're new.